Welcome to 5-Round MMA podcast number 7, the first podcast of 2013. In the latest podcast, we will preview the final Strikeforce event on January 12th and go in depth on Anderson Silva's 10-fight contract extension and what it means for him and the UFC. Please welcome Alex Ramirez and Albert Cita.
Thank you very much. That was our producer, Guillermo Cita.
Hello, everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for listening to the last podcast. Let's get on to the latest news.
Guillermo, what do you got?
UFC Hall of Famer Dan "The Beast" Severn officially retires from MMA. He retires after over 120 official MMA bouts with a record of 101, 19, and 7.
And this just comes up to prove one of my latest theories, and actually one of my oldest theories.
Which is?
Pro wrestling is a good basis for MMA. People need to understand that Ken Shamrock if it wasn't for pro wrestling, I don't think he got as far as he got.
Yeah,
Beast of Dan Severn, that's how he got where he got.
My first introduction for Dan the Beast Severn was like him walking down the ramp on Raw with the towel over his head. All of a sudden, bumping his chest, I'm going to kick everybody's ass. And he did, which is very, and all of a sudden, this guy's an MMA fighter?
Yep, and he won 101 fights, so, hey, the proof is in the pudding.
I mean, like, he just fought in July, too, with the win. So, way to go out the bang for Dan the Beast Severn.
Yeah, it's almost as impressive as Boss Ruin's record, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Yeah, people look him up on Wikipedia. He has a record.
Yeah, I don't know if, like, you think he's, like, not really a pioneer in MMA, just kind of a guy who's good at what he did and just took it for a long time. Because, like, you would say the Gracies were a pioneer because he introduced a new fighting technique, but he was just a strong wrestler who just beat people down, right?
Put him down, keep him there, win the fight.
Yeah, him and Mark Coleman, the grandfather of ground and pound, right?
Oh, and before we forget, it's still latest news. I don't know if you guys checked in, but Todd Duffy had a first-round knockout last fight. Todd Duffy.
Is that still latest news?
I know, yeah, dude.
Are we going to keep announcing that until he fights again? Or what?
Yes. You got to keep him active and fresh.
Yeah, Todd Duffy, man.
Even though he might be out for a little bit. He has, I think he hurt his knee.
Punching a guy in the face?
Yep.
All right, coming up, we're going to do a preview of Strikeforce's final event ever. They'll be closing the doors for good after January 12th, so stick around. All right, everybody, don't miss a beat. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at 5RoundMMA, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and always check out the website, 5RoundMMA.com. 5RoundMMA is brought to you by SportsSceneTV.net. Get your prep sports fix at SportsSceneTV.net. 5-Round MMA is brought to you by True Athletes Training Systems. Unlock your inner athlete at trueathletes.com.
Welcome back. Now it's time to preview Strikeforce's final event.
We got in the main card, Nate Marquardt versus Tarak Safadine. And if I can't pronounce your name, you don't belong in the UFC. So with that said, Alex.
Okay, but Todd Duffy's easy to pronounce, right?
Todd Duffy's actually pretty easy to pronounce. Todd Duffy. He rolls out the tongue pretty good. Sounds good, too.
All right, the final Strikeforce event ever, folks. After this, the doors are closed. Scott Croker will be looking for a job after this, right?
Yeah, and nobody's hiring, so damn, tough job.
So basically, it's pretty much everybody who hasn't jumped from UFC is pretty much on this card now, with the exception of Gilbert Melendez and Luke Rockhold.
And I think there's still more, like a handful of injured fighters.
So you got Nate Marquardt, Daniel Cormier, Josh Barnett, Gegard Mousasi, Roger Gracie, Tim Kennedy, KJ Coons are all on this card. And looks like a pretty good card. Fight-wise, I think Marquardt should come out on top. I think he needs to come out on top, even though Dana White said he would have a job. But I think he'll have a little more leverage coming in as a welterweight champion. Yeah,
he has a lot to prove at 170 because he didn't leave in good terms with the UFC. So another big win because his debut went pretty well.
Yeah.
If he has another big win, that puts him right there in the top 3 coming into the UFC, and there's a lot of matchups for him as he comes in.
Yeah, especially the welterweight division. I mean, they had the showdown in 158 with Johnny Hendricks, Ellerberger, so he could match up really nicely with any one of those guys.
Yeah, winner or loser of those fights.
Yeah.
And then we also have Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, the guy's been in the news lately.
More for his weight than his actual record or fighting.
This is supposed to be Frank Mir originally, correct? And then Mir got hurt, so they shuffled Cormier around to this card. And now he's going to fight Dion Starring, who's 28-7. You say he's not a joke, right?
Yeah, I wish I could say he's a joke because his name sounds like it. But he has a 6-fight winning streak. So he's a good competitor. So Daniel Cormier better not look past him, even though I think it should be an easy win for Daniel. It's going to be knockout or ground and pound.
But it's a good test for him, right?
Yeah, it's a good test.
They're not throwing him a bone basically to get like momentum into the UFC. It's a pretty good test. Like, don't be surprised if actually Cormier does come out a loser on this fight, basically.
Yeah, the only person that needs a win on this card, or else he does not get a contract, is Josh Barnett.
Yeah, I think didn't White say that he wasn't too sure about Josh Barnett bringing him back to the UFC with his like checkered past and stuff like that?
Yeah, so he needs, not only does he need a win, he needs an
impressive performance.
Or else he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I think he would fit in the heavyweight division, especially now because it's kind of light.
Yeah, since there's only like 4 people.
Yeah, and especially if Daniel Cormier does come in and drops down to 205.
I mean, Antonio Silva can't fight everybody, right?
Yeah, yeah. And Roy Nelson, like he's too busy on the FX and Fuel TV card. So
I actually have a pretty good matchup for Josh Barnett when he comes in.
Who?
Josh Barnett versus Todd Duffy.
Oh, there you go, right there.
That, see, Joe Silva, that one's for free. The next one you got paid for. Let's look way down in the card because there is some interesting names in the bottom of the card, which is like Ryan Couture, which is Randy Couture's son. He's 5-1. He's actually a lightweight, but he has a big test. I mean, I think they fit him to the Wolves too early because
TJ Kuhn.
Yeah, I think he's almost there, but not quite. But he has the name at least.
You think they'll bring Ryan Couture in, like keep him on the undercard a little bit, and kind of build on his dad's legacy a little bit?
Yeah, he'll headline the Facebook
because he's a good fighter.
And be in the mid card and prelim. Yeah,
he's like just only 6 total fights. I think he's a little way coming still. So
yeah, he's kind of ripe still, but I can see all of them getting contracts. Tim Kennedy is another interesting fight.
Yeah.
He used to be their champion. And then we also got Roger Gracie, whose only loss is to King Mo.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And also he's also a 205. In the 205s are filtering out too. It's always the same,
especially with
same fighters right now. And then we also got Greg Musasi,
who came with a lot of hype early in his career, and then
man, come on now, the guy had a draw against Keith Jardine.
Yeah, he couldn't finish Keith Jardine.
No offense to our only Keith Jardine fan out there, Eric Avalos.
Sorry, Eric,
I'm sorry, Eric, but I mean, you get
the Dean of Mean is not very impressive anymore. Eric.
Since Forrest Griffin lost to him, I don't even see Forrest Griffin in the radar.
So do you think Gegard will come in? Like, do you think they'll throw him in the mirror, or like kind of like
he's going to be just like Jake Shields? I think a lot of hype, nothing behind.
Because these guys have names to known MMA fans. They know these guys. But it's kind of a shame, like, if they'll just get thrown on the radar, they won't get, like, a spotlight on them right away. But these are good fighters.
Yeah, and even Mike Kyle is good. He's coming off of a loss, but it turned into no contest because Rafael tested positive.
Oh, yeah.
But Mike Kyle is a good fighter. He fights at 205, but he actually has some heavyweight fights in his record.
Yeah,
so don't let the 19-8 fool you because he did fight in heavyweight previously, but there's no way that guy did belong in heavyweight.
Yeah. Very true. I mean, I think Dana White said after WEC closed, it's not getting smaller, it's only getting bigger, and this is kind of proof of it. They actually give all these fighters a shot.
It'll hit the refresh button.
Yeah, actually, interesting matchups. Kind of like when WCW merged with WWE, all these,
Yeah, we finally got to see, actually, damn, Scott Hall didn't make it. So.
Oh, yeah.
The ones I wanted to see, I didn't even get to see.
So, this is the final event ever for Strikeforce. We're closing the doors. I have a question for you. Do you have a favorite Strikeforce moment ever?
Actually, my favorite Strikeforce moment hasn't come yet because my favorite moment's going to be on January 12th
when they close the doors.
Strikeforce closes the door.
Didn't first loss in 10 years didn't do anything for you? Gina Carano get knocked out by the
that would have been cool 5 years ago. Please.
The debut of Ronda Rousey, nothing?
Nah, it was all
King Mo
horrible. Look, listen. They lasted longer than Affliction. I'll give them that. But it was garbage the way they had everything set up. It was garbage the way they gave title shots. It was garbage the way they even picked the first contender.
Yeah, they let Alistair Overeem win the title and then go away for 5 years and come back, right?
And the sad part is, Dana White looks good after this. He can go and fly and say like, oh, you guys don't know the game plan on how to make a successful company.
Yeah,
it's not that. You have all these garbage ass fools running these Affliction and Strikeforce. They don't want to put in that. That's why Bellator is actually
going to succeed. You think?
Yeah, because they're doing it They have a good format right now. Something that keeps them
They're
different
on a
from
network
everybody else.
that's basically pioneered the way to show MMA on cable.
Yeah.
So.
And guess what? They're making stars, not bringing them down.
That's true, yeah. But, yeah, final card, January 12th. Be sure to check it out. And coming up next, we will go more in-depth on Anderson Silva's 10-fight contract extension. So stick around. All right, everybody, don't miss a beat. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at FiveRoundMMA. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and always check out the website, FiveRoundMMA.com. 5RoundMMA is brought to you by SportsSceneTV.net. Get your prep sports fix at SportsSceneTV.net. 5RoundMMA is brought to you by True Athletes Training Systems. Unlock your inner athlete at TrueAthletes.com.
Now it's time to talk about La Araña, the Spider, Anderson Silva, 10-fight contract extension, and the future of the middleweight division.
This is a big news coming out of last week was Anderson Silva's 10-fight contract extension with the UFC. This came as a surprise for me, anyways, because just a couple months ago we were talking about he's going to retire within a year. But now Dana White says that this contract will last about 4 years? He said to finish all 10 fights, and you say he's going to fight every fight, right?
Yeah,
all 10 fights.
All 10 fights will be fought. As a matter of fact, you could cross out that 4 years. He's going to do it in 3.
3 years?
Yep.
That's a hell of a pace.
And then look, we really need to stop talking about 10 fights because we should just get focused on 6.
6.
Because it's going to take him 6 fights to clear out the division, and it's going to take him 6 fights to do the super fights.
So basically 4 in the division and then 2 super fights,
Yep.
right?
Because there was only 4 fights out there really for him, unless someone comes up, hint, Rory McDonald.
So I know news going around is that Dana White officially said that if Michael Bisping comes out the winner against Vitor Belfort in his upcoming bout, that he will get a shot at Anderson Silva's title.
Yeah, but if Vitor wins, he doesn't get a shot.
So if past proves to be right, Michael Bisping will not win because he kind of chokes in these situations.
And he has a questionable chin because I think he's still feeling the effects of that
H-bomb.
H-bomb.
H-bomb
And he's about to get V-bombed.
V-bombed with Vitor Belfort.
Yeah.
So if Michael Bisping loses, who's next in line? I know we talked about maybe Luke Rockhold from Strikeforce coming over because they're the merger. He's a middleweight champion, so you think it'd be kind of natural. But you say no, correct?
Well, here's the thing. Dana White is banking on Bisping to win.
That's a very shaky gamble, I think.
So he never once he hasn't even once mentioned about Luke Rockhold and Anderson Silva. Never once because he really thinks Bisping's going to get it.
Wow.
But Bisping's going to get knocked out, leaving no choice but to give it to Luke Rockhold.
Okay. You don't think maybe a Hector Lombard maybe?
Hector Lombard it's tough because
He's one more fight away.
Damn Tim Boach, he threw a wrench in all this.
Yeah,
I blame Tim Boach for everything.
The last pay-per-view had 2 middleweight bouts, and all of them just stunk, man. Okami didn't look impressive. Costa kind of beat Tim Boach, but kind of like an iffy Tim Boach. He didn't look like himself, so it's kind of like you can't really base that performance off anything.
If damn Tim Boach were to beat Hector
Lombard.
Lombard will be fighting Anderson Silva right now.
Yeah.
And then he goes off and loses to Katsa Philippou, who should go, man, damn. So he just threw a whole wrench in it, so he can't fight.
Yeah. So your theory is that eventually Rory McDonald will come up to 185,
No.
right?
He will come up to 185.
Okay.
He's going to, matter of fact, it's going to be after the Carlos Condit fight. He's going to, oh my gosh, he's going to destroy Carlos Condit. Quote me, please.
I think I'll quote you.
He's going to strike down lightning. And I don't even know if there's thunderstorms in Canada, but there's going to be one coming for Carlos Condit.
Just snow at least.
He's going to destroy Carlos Condit, and he's going to be forced to say, look, listen, it's GSP or you move up. And guess what? He's moving up.
Do you know his natural weight is does he come down a lot for 170?
All I know is I heard he is a heavy welterweight.
So walk around 190,
190,
maybe.
Maybe even 200.
Wow.
So that's what's, and hopefully that happens because
you thinking GSP hope that happens too? So you want to avoid the super fight?
GSP's like, oh man, you
just go up, man.
I always thought you were a good middleweight.
Yours always
I don't know what you do.
I
I know you don't want to drain your body so much. You're a young kid. Come on, man, get your belt.
So do you think Anderson Silva will remain undefeated in these throughout the 10 fights or the 6 fights? You say
as long as he keeps away from Rory McDonald, he goes 10-0 with at the end of his career.
So Bisping loses.
Okay.
Silva's without opponent. John Jones wins against.
But see, it wouldn't work out because Anderson Silva has to fight somebody in the middleweight for them to clash together.
Because I was thinking maybe John Jones wins against Chael Sonnen. Maybe Henderson and Machida is not really an impressive fight for both of them. That leaves John Jones without opponent and Anderson Silva without opponent.
The sad part is if Dan Henderson doesn't win, I don't even think Machida gets the title shot to John Jones.
They give him that title shot just as a desperation act, right?
Yeah, I think Dana White's banking on Dan Henderson.
These are dangerous gambles. You gotta have plan B, plan C, D.
I got 3 plans, and they all heavyweight division. The only plan is Todd Duffy. And the light heavyweight, the only plan is Lyoto Machida.
That's true.
Put him in there again, he'll win, and I'll bet the house on that. Middleweight division, it's called Rory McDonald. And 170, that doesn't really matter. GSP is going to grind it out. Yeah. And then in lightweight division, I don't see Ben Henderson going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then let's keep going down.
145.
Let's keep going. We're down to 145. That's actually an interesting one because I think Jose Aldo finishes at 145, then moves up to 155.
And loses to Ben Henderson.
Yeah, and then Chad Money Mendez
takes over
145. Let's go all the way down 135. 135. I actually have no idea.
That's out for 2 years.
That is an interesting category, and whoever's a fighter that can make 135, go make the weight.
Eric Perez, no, 135, 145.
Eric
135.
Perez,
135.
Oh dang, Eric Perez. There we go.
Big star.
And then on the flyweight, I see Joseph Benavidez getting back up there and knockout. So it's gonna be interesting.
Oh, you're forgetting the women's 135.
Oh yeah, that's because after the first event, there's going to be no women's division because Rousey, Ronda
will choke under the pressure. You said?
Yeah, she'll choke under pressure.
Main event, pay-per-view, Anaheim, Southern California. All right, that's it for today. Make sure to check back next week where we'll preview Bellator's first card on Spike TV and also have a preview of Belfort versus Bisping, UFC on FX.
I'd like to thank everybody for listening. I'd like to thank our producer, Guillermo Cita, our executive producer, Anthony Sariana, our sound engineer, they call him Ollie the Trolley, and a special shout-out to Tud Duffy, who just tweeted me. Thanks, man.
All right, be sure to follow us on Twitter at FiveRoundMMA, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also check out the website, FiveRoundMMA.com. And before we sign off, I'll give a shout-out to Punk Ass from Tap Out. Thank you for the inspirational words. It really meant a lot, and we're going to come back even stronger in 2013. It's going to get bigger and better. So thank you a lot, Punk Ass. We appreciate it.